putting questions to Petr, and then when those questions and answers are finished, then Rafa Benitez will finish the press conference. We'll let Petr go and continue getting ready for training.
Dobrý večer. Dnešní tisková konference proběhne tak, že nejprve budete směřovat své dotazy na hráče, na Petra Čecha, potom vám odpoví pan trenér Rafa Benitez, aby se hráči mohli jít připravovat.
Okay, so we'll start. Ian.
Hello. This is Chelsea's first match in the Europa League. Do you think it needs perhaps a slightly different mental approach? I heard you. Okay. Chelsea's first game in the Europa League. Do you think it needs a slightly different mental approach?
Chcete to přeložit rovnou?
I don't think so. It's a competition. It's an important competition, and as a player, any game you play, you want to win. So the mindset is that you want to win the game, to do as well as you can, and obviously if you win, it's great. And I don't think we will have to get a special motivation to play the game tomorrow.
Pro Chelsea je to první zápas v Evropské lize. Je proto důležité nějaké jiné mentální rozpoložení? Já myslím, že ne. Je to velmi důležitá soutěž a každý hráč jde hlavně za tím, aby vyhrál. Takže to rozpoložení je stejné. Uděláme maximum pro výhru.
With ties like Real Madrid against Manchester United this week, though, do you feel you're missing out?
Well, we haven't won the Champions League every year, so there were games in the past that you had to be at home and you had to watch. This is the sad part of it, and once you're out in the competition, then you can change the situation. So our situation is that we are in the Europa League, and we need to concentrate on what we gonna do in the Europa League. And obviously we will all be missing the Champions League campaign, but it's the way it is, and we can kind of make ourselves happy by going far in the Europa League.
Nemyslíte si, že proti Manchesteru United teď máte trošku nevýhodu? Nechybí vám to? Tak samozřejmě, ale my jsme Ligu mistrů taky nevyhráli vždycky, občas prostě koukáte jenom z domova, s tím se nedá nic dělat. My se teď budeme soustředit na Evropskou ligu. Liga mistrů, samozřejmě, že je to pro nás ztráta, ale takhle to je a my se budeme snažit dostat co nejdál v Evropské lize.
Is that accurate?
It's right. Well done.
Can I check on your fitness? How's your finger?
Fine, good.
So nothing that's going to stop you playing?
The manager can. So I haven't heard from him that I'm playing. So
we'll discuss later.
So the fitness-wise, no.
Jak je na tom váš prst? Vypadá to dobře. Takže vás teď nic nezastaví. Jediný, kdo mě může zastavit, je trenér, ale zatím mi nic neřekl.
Can I also get your thoughts on Frank Lampard? A lot being said about him just at the moment. I mean, how well do you think he's playing? Do you hope that he and the club can reach some kind of agreement over a future contract, or do you fear that they may not?
Well, I'm not the director of the club. I'm not involved in signing players or getting contracts. There is a fact that Frank's been playing really well. It's been always a fantastic professional and fantastic player for us, and he's been doing so for us. So hopefully tomorrow he will have a great game. He will have a great contribution to the game, and it will help us to win the game.
Ještě se chci zeptat na Franka Lamparda. Je to velice dobrý hráč. Myslíte si, že se s klubem nějak dohodne na budoucím pokračování na smlouvě? Já nejsem ředitel klubu, takže tohle moc neovlivním. Frank je samozřejmě výborný hráč, je to profesionál. Já hlavně doufám, že se mu bude dařit zítra a že nám pomůže k výhře.
Petře, je to 11 let, co se tady naposledy nastoupil v dresu Sparty v evropských pohárech, bylo to proti Portu, byl vítězný zápas. Jak to vnímáte teď, tuhletu situaci, že vlastně jdete proti bývalému klubu?
Tak je to pro mě zvláštní situace, protože vlastně je to dlouhá doba, kdy jsem tady působil. vracím se sem prakticky, nebo řekněme dost častokrát s národním týmem, takže prostředí znám velice dobře, ale je pravda, že naposledy jsem tady byl jako host ještě z Blšany, takže to je dlouhá doba a uvidíme, jak samozřejmě to budu vnímat. Tenkrát jsem tady z Blšany prohrál, já věřím, že se to nebude opakovat zítra.
It's been 11 years since you last played a European game for Sparta. It was against Porto. How do you feel about it now, playing against your former club? It's a very interesting feeling. It's been many years, as he said. I am here quite often when I play for the national team, so I know the atmosphere here, but the last time I played here for Sparta was against Blšany, which was a bad match. We lost.
Simon, President.
Hi, Peter. Only 3 teams, I think, in European history have won all 3 European titles, the Conference Cup, UEFA Cup and Champions League. Chelsea obviously had history. People criticised them early in the season for going out of the Champions League. But how much of a motivation is it to create history of a greater nature to suddenly become the team that has won all 3 titles, the first English team as well, to do that?
It's obviously a great motivation for everyone, and as I said, when you are in the top club, you always want to win every game, and if you can try, and you always want to try to win every competition. And as I said before, the Europa League, if you win the Europa League, you can play the Super Cup. You know, we missed out on Super Cup last season, or this season actually, last year, but this season, and it was a big disappointment for us. So if we can win the Europa League, it would be fantastic, and we will have another chance to play the Super Cup, and very soon. So this is a competition you have to really respect.
Pouze 3 týmům v evropské historii se podařilo vyhrát všechny 3 tituly z evropských soutěží. Chelsea je teď pod palbou kritiky, především kvůli výkonům v lize mistrů. Myslíte si, že je pro vás motivace přepsat historii a přiřadit se po bok těch 3 týmů? Samozřejmě, že je to pro nás velká motivace, ale když hrajete pro velký klub, tak chcete vyhrát vždycky, chcete vyhrát všechny soutěže. Pokud vyhráme Evropskou ligu, tak můžeme samozřejmě hrát i super pohár. Minulou sezónu jsme ho nevyhráli, takže jsme byli docela zklamaní a to zklamání chceme odčinit a to je velká motivace.
And then just to follow up on that, Peter, firstly, could making that history make up for what happened in the Champions League this season? And secondly, Chelsea have struggled to keep clean sheets over the last few months. Will that defensive record have to improve if you're going to be able to do it in Europe, where obviously away goals count double, etc.?
Well, it's always better if you can get a clean sheet, obviously, because you just need 1 goal to score to win the game. But to be fair, if you win every game 5-4, and every game you get 3 points and you progress in the competitions, then I think you can take it sometimes. So I think the most important is to have the team winning, and then obviously as well, if you can get a clean sheet, it's better. So I think that it will depend on how well we do on the pitch, and I'm positive that we can get clean sheets. We can play well.
And will it compensate for the Champions League?
Well, when you go out of the Champions League, is always a deception. But as I said, not every year you go all the way, you win it. So you have to accept sometimes that you don't do it, and you concentrate on the future.
Myslíte si, že se vám povede v Evropské lize vynahradit to, že jste vypadli z Ligy mistrů? A další otázka, Chelsea poslední dobou dostává hodně gólů. Budete se snažit udržet čisté konto? Pochopitelně, když máte čisté konto, je to nejlepší, protože vyhrát se dá i 1-0, ale když vyhrajete 5-4, tak stejně dostáváte 3 body, je to výhra a to se vždycky počítá. Výhra je tedy to nejdůležitější. Zítra bude záležet na tom, jak se nám bude dařit, ale doufám, že to čisté konto udržíme. Co se týče Ligy mistrů, tak samozřejmě vypadnout bylo zklamání, ale nevždy se vám podaří v Lize mistrů dojít až do finále.
Petře, může být výhodou to, že někteří hráči Sparty tě velice dobře znají, anebo naopak pro tebe výhodou, že ty znáš jejich, teda soupeře, tedy některé hráče?
Tak já bych to nebral jako výhodu, nevýhodu, to se ukáže až v tom samotném zápase. Je pravda, že se známe z národního týmu, ale tím, že nepůsobím v České lize a mockrát se s nimi nepotkám jako soupeř, tak zase tolik zkušeností sami ze sebou nemáme z těch zápasů, takže bych to ani tak jako moc nebral.
Will it be an advantage for you that you know your opponents from Sparta, or is it an advantage for them that they know you? I wouldn't really want to comment on that because we will see that tomorrow. It's true that I know the guys from the national team, but since I don't play in the Czech league, we don't have that many experience playing against each other, so we will see tomorrow.
Petr, what's your assessment of Sparta Prague and where do you think the biggest danger will come from?
Well, I think it's a team who had 5 weeks pre-season and prior to that they were 1 month off. So it's very hard to say in which mood they will start the game tomorrow. They could work on different things during the pre-season, but I think the biggest danger comes from the side. They have very good dynamics on the sides and young players with the speed. So that could be the way they will want to try to catch us up.
Which players in particular are you kind of most looking at as the dangers?
Well, as I said, the wingers, and then you have quality in the middle with Matejovský and we had a very good pass. So now we look at this as a team. The individuals can make more than a team.
Chtěl bych se zeptat, jak hodnotíte Spartu a v čem tkví její největší nebezpečí. Sparta je tým, který měl 5 týdnů přípravy, předtím měli měsíc volno, takže těžko říct, na čem tu dobu pracovali, v čem se zlepšili. Co se týče těch nebezpečí, tak hlavně po stranách mají mladé, rychlé hráče. Jaké konkrétně hráče máte na mysli? Tak především po těch stranách a pak samozřejmě v záloze Matejovský, ale tady nejde o jednotlivce, jde vždycky o celý tým.
Okay, we'll stop there then for Petr. Thank you.
Díky.
Okay, and then we'll go again. Start in the middle there, and then we'll work out. So again.
Rafa, hello. How is John Terry? Is he fit for this game?
Yes. So all the players that are here, they can play tomorrow. Even Petr Cech.
How much of a concern has it been to you with John Terry, with his knee, with it flaming up?
No, we knew that he had to adapt after the games and no reaction in his knee. That is positive. So it's a question of time that he can be fully fit. Obviously, you have to play games, you have to train, and then is when you have much fitness and then the condition that you need. So it's a question of time again that he can reach his real level.
Nastoupí zítra Terry. Ano, všichni hráči, kteří přijeli, jsou schopni nastoupit do zápasu. Dělalo vám starosti to, že byste mohli být nuceni hrát bez Terryho? My jsme věděli o těch jeho zdravotních problémech, čekali jsme na to, jak jeho noha zareaguje. Samozřejmě nejdůležitější je trénovat, aby hráč byl fit, takže myslíme si, že to zvládne.
As far as your striking options are concerned, do you feel that you're in a worse position than you finished in the Champions League? Daniel Sturridge is gone, but Demba Ba can't play in the Europa League. Does a lot, in terms of your success in this competition, depend on Fernando Torres?
Obviously, it's a problem, but we'll try to keep Fernando fit and playing well, and hopefully scoring goals. And if we have to manage in a different way, because we don't have Fernando for any reason, we have to manage. We are expecting that Victor Moses will come back, and maybe it's an option, maybe to play with other striker like Spain. So we'll see.
Jak jste na tom s útokem? Myslíte si, že ta situace je horší, než když jste skončili v Lize mistrů? Přece jenom Daniel Sturridge je pryč, Demba Ba zatím nastupovat nemůže, takže máte v podstatě jenom Torrese. Samozřejmě, že trochu problém to je, ale Fernando je fit, my se snažíme, aby hrál co nejlépe, takže myslíme, že to dopadne dobře. Samozřejmě může nastoupit ještě Victor Moses, nebo můžeme hrát úplně bez útočníka, uvidíme zítra.
Do you think winning Europa League will strengthen your claim for for the job on a permanent basis?
As Peter said before, we have to concentrate on the future, and the future is tomorrow. So I think that I cannot talk about what will happen in 3 months time. I think that we have to concentrate in this competition. It's quite difficult, and we know that tomorrow will be a tough game. So that is my priority.
Myslíte si, že pokud se vám povede vyhrát Evropskou ligu, tak vám klub nabídne prodloužení smlouvy? Jak už říkal Petr Čech, my se teď soustředíme jenom na tu nejbližší budoucnost, což je zítřejší zápas. Já nechci myslet na to, co bude za 5 měsíců, soustředím se jenom na ten velmi těžký zápas, který nás čeká zítra.
Tell me, did you see the Celtic Juventus game last night?
I saw the highlights there.
What did you make of the grappling between some of the offensive players and some of the defensive players? Do you think that is an area perhaps where UEFA need to be a little tougher?
I think every year we can hear the same things about this situation in corners. So we do zonal defending, zonal marking, and then we didn't have this problem before. So maybe it's a solution.
Díval jste se na ten zápas Celticu a Juventusu? Co jste říkal na ty potyčky, na tu přetahovanou mezi obranou a útokem? A myslíte si, že v Evropské lize bude situace ještě složitější? Na to není jednoznačná odpověď. Bylo tam samozřejmě hodně rohů, budeme prostě muset hodně bránit, ale i to se dá vyřešit.
Yes, sir.
Rafael, is Chelsea missing Fernando Torres' effectivity against the goal, especially in this final stretch of the season?
I think that the perception is that Fernando has not scored goals, and it's not true. He has already scored, I think, 15 or 16 goals. No, Steve?
Gotcha.
So the question is that he was scoring goals at the beginning, and when we just arrived, he was scoring goals again, and he's not scoring goals in a couple of games, but he was playing as our own lone striker for maybe 10 games. When you play 2 games a week, it's not easy for the striker. So I said when we signed Dembaba, that will be good for him, because you can manage both. You can rest one if it's necessary. That means that the other one will be fitter for the next game. So I think that he will score goals again.
Myslíte si, že Chelsea má problémy i proto, že Fernando Torres nedokáže se prosadit v zakončení a nedává tolik gólů? To není pravda. Fernando góly samozřejmě dával je ze začátku, teď zase se mu daří, několik zápasů se mu sice nedařilo, ale na tom nezáleží. On z několik zápasů hrál jako jediný útočník a když hrajete 2krát týdně, tak je to složité. Tím, že jsme teďka obohatili tým o Dembuba, tak můžeme ten útok trošku prostřídat a to je pro oba dobré.
Did you speak about Sparta with Peter Čech, and was there something which surprised you? I mean, something which he said about Sparta?
Obviously, we were talking with Peter about the Sparta and also with our scouts. So as he said before, it's a good team. They have had time to prepare the game, and I'm sure that will be a massive game for them. And they're quite dangerous with the wingers, as he said, and some players with quality that they can pass the ball. They signed the top scorer in the league, so I think that it's a good team. And the main thing for me is to explain to my players that it will be a tough test.
A bavil jste se o Spartě s Petrem Čechem a je něco, co vás překvapilo na tom, co vám řekl? Samozřejmě, že jsme se o Spartě bavili, nejen s Petrem, ale i s našimi skauty. Já vím, že Sparta je výborný tým, měl čas na přípravu, jsou nebezpeční po stranách, mají skvělé přihrávky, také teď za ně hraje nejlepší střelec ligy, takže bude záležet na tom, co uvidíme zítra.
Simon.
Hi Rafa, you have a great coaching record in European competitions with your former clubs. Is there something about European football that brings out the best in you that you particularly thrive in? And is tomorrow, whilst most people think this game is a minor game compared to the likes of United, Real Madrid, for you this is something to look forward to?
that we won the UEFA Cup with Valencia, and after we were in the semi-finals of the Europa League with Liverpool, not just Champions League, also this competition. So we know that it's an important competition, especially when you go through until the end. So we know that we have to concentrate in a different way. When you play the league, it's 9 months and then you have more games. But with just the knockout competition, you have to concentrate really well, and the little things, the little details can make the difference. And we try to control these things, and maybe that is the reason why we were successful.
Vám se v evropských soutěžích velice daří, máte výborné výsledky s několika týmy, takže mnoho lidem bude připadat ten zítřejší zápas poměrně malý a nedůležitý. Tak mně se dařilo vyhrávat v evropských soutěžích s Valencií i s Liverpoolem a Evropská liga je stejně důležitá soutěž jako ty ostatní, hlavně pokud se dostanete až do finále. My se tedy budeme soustředit co nejvíce, sice musíme hrát i domácí ligu, ale vyřazovací zápasy v těchto soutěžích jsou důležité, můžou je ovlivnit ty nejmenší detaily.
One more, Simon, then we'll do 2 in the front row.
Yeah, one more, Rafa. But does it bring out the best in you personally, speaking from a personal point of view? And secondly, the question I asked Petr Cech earlier about the defensive record of Chelsea, do you concede that record has to improve if Chelsea are to progress?
Little things, little details can make the difference. So for these games, we try to analyze every single thing, and it's because we have been successful. So it was more or less the answer. You can do the same in the league, but sometimes, especially in the Premier League, there's a long ball, there's a 50-50 chance, no, in your box. But in Europe, the way that the referees manage the games is different. So if you tactically are quite good, or your team is doing well tactically, then maybe you can have more options. No, that was one of the reasons why. Our defensive record, I think, it was quite good, because we conceded half of the goals that the team was conceding before, and I remember an interview of Petr Cech talking about that, saying that we had more balance and the team was well organized, and we were much better in defense. Obviously, if you win 4-1, so you have to say, okay, it's not a clean sheet, but you have to score 4 goals. So it's always you are looking for this balance, to score goals and not concede. And I think that we had a good record. I think we are the second team with, in terms of clean sheets in the Premier League. So for a team that is scoring a lot of goals, I think it's not bad. It can be better, yes, but still we have to find this balance.
Co si myslíte o obraně Chelsea? Myslíte si, že by se měla zlepšit, abyste nedostávali tolik gólů? Jak jsem už říkal, tady jde o ty nejmenší detaily. My jsme se na zítřejší zápas připravili co nejlépe. V Premier League je to 50-50, dáte gól nebo nedáte. V Evropské lize je to trošku jiné, to jiná situace, i rozhodčí dělají jiné rozhodnutí, takže na tom bude záležet. Já si myslím, že co se týče našeho konta, co se týče gólů, tak jsme na tom docela dobře. Dostali jsme méně gólů než loni. Náš tým je dobře organizovaný, i naše obrana. Samozřejmě pokud vyhrajete 4-1, tak jste neudrželi čisté konto, ale dali jste 4 góly a to se musí taky počítat.
Rafa, you said at the beginning, I gathered that Juan Mata is ready for tomorrow's game, but how is he health-wise? I mean, he only played 20 minutes against Wigan, and I don't know what's...
He had a cold. He had a cold. He's fine now.
He's fine. He can actually play tomorrow. I gather from his blog, he is very keen on tourism and seen around London and so on. Will they have a chance to see a little bit of Prague this time?
I don't think so. You can send him some pictures and then maybe he can put in the blog.
Chci se zeptat na Juana Matu. Vy jste říkal, že všichni hráči jsou schopni nastoupit, ale on hrál v minulém zápase jenom 20 minut. Jak na tom je? Bylo to jenom lehké nachlazení, takže už je v pořádku. Juan Mata taky rád cestuje, má dokonce i svůj blog. Myslíte si, že týmu se povede podívat po Praze? Já myslím, že ne, ale možná, že nějaké fotky se na jeho blogu objeví.
Yeah, just time for 2 more, one here and one at the back.
Jestli by pan Benítez mohl říct, jak vzpomíná na Vladimíra Šmicera a Milana Baroše.
Could you comment on your memories of Vladimír Šmicer and Milan Baroš?
really good memories, very good players, and they were doing really well for us. And both players, they have quality. And I remember I told Schmeichel that he was not playing too many games. He was injured when I just arrived. He was coming from an operation. And I said, maybe, and he was the example. I say, maybe some players you will not play too many games, but you have to be ready, because if you have to play, you can make a difference. And he made a difference in Istanbul. So he was ready. He was a very good professional.
Byli to oba skvělí hráči, hodně pro klub udělali, mají své kvality. Pamatuju si, že když jsem začínal, tak Vladimír Šmicr byl zrovna zraněný a já jsem mu říkal, že možná, že nebude hrát tolik zápasů, ale musí být vždycky připravený, protože může do zápasu nastoupit a udělat to nejdůležitější, a to se i stalo v Istanbulu.
Final question.
Everybody has been expecting that you will be playing Champions League now, and you will be visiting stadiums like Nou Camp, but now you are only in Prague and only at this stadium. Could you describe the difference, if it's different or big difference?
Where are you from, sorry? Sorry? Why you say only in Prague? This is a massive city, massive club, and massive competition. So we are really pleased to be here. Obviously, as Peter said before, so you cannot change things. Champions League is a massive competition, but the Europa League is also a massive competition, and you play against a historic team. So we are really pleased. And for me, is again, I will say, is try to give my players the right message, because we know that will be tough, because it's a great team and a great club, a great city.
Všichni si mysleli, že Chelsea bude hrát Ligu mistrů, že bude navštěvovat takové stadiony, jako je Camp Nou. Teď jste ale jenom tady v Praze na Spartě. Odkud jste? Jestli jste z Prahy, tak proč říkáte jenom na Spartě? Vždyť je to velký klub, je to důležitá soutěž. Samozřejmě, že Liga mistrů je ještě větší, ale s tím se nedá nic dělat. Evropská liga je taky důležitá a my jsme rádi, že tady jsme. A já jsem svým hráčům už vysvětloval, že do toho budou muset dát maximum, a to je nejdůležitější.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Well done. Thank you very much. Thank you.